Hi everyone, hello, how you all doing? I just thought I would make a quick video about my experiences in the bulimia recovery group for therapy. I've never actually made a video, but I got diagnosed officially with bulimia back in the beginning of the year. It feels like just donkeys ago, but yeah, I got diagnosed officially in the beginning of the year. So it's been a long time. Like I've been trying for so long to see somebody regarding the eating disorder and to get help for it. So it's really been a long battle. So that finally happened, and then so I got recommended to do group therapy, and it was called the bulimia group, the bulimia recovery group. And it was my first time doing group therapy, and I don't know, I don't think I'll do it again. I just didn't like it. It wasn't for me. So yeah, this video is just my experiences with that. So it's not to like slag it off or make other people feel bad about it or anything like that. It's just what myself, and I felt about the sessions and the whole experience. So it is my experience. So I'm just trying to make that really clear because some people take offense to things because it doesn't match what they believe. So yeah, it was my first time doing group therapy. I wasn't looking forward to it. I didn't want to do it, but it was the only chance I had. Like, it was literally the only thing I was going to get given. It was either that or nothing. So I had no choice but to accept it and to do it. I tried really hard to go in there with like a open mind, like being a bit positive about it. I had my reservations about group therapy because I just don't like being in a group with other people and talking about myself. Like because I just don't trust people, so I don't like group therapy at all. So that was already like an issue for me. So we started therapy, and then like Corona came, so they stopped that for a bit, and then we finally came back, and it was online, which for me I didn't mind because it meant I didn't have to be there with other people. But it was still difficult as well because you weren't there face to face. But it felt like the sessions were designed for people who had already been diagnosed a while ago, people who've had maybe other therapy sessions. It felt like an intermediate session, like, you know, people that have been there before, they've done it. So not somebody who's newly diagnosed, is like they don't really know much, you know, they need a lot more support. It just didn't feel like that for me. And so I struggled a bit, and it kind of felt like a classroom session. It felt like when you're in college and you're doing health and social care, basically. It felt like I was in a health and social care class with like the PowerPoints and all that. Like, it didn't feel like a therapy session. And then as we got on, like, some elements of it, like the information were okay-ish, like it was helpful-ish, but once again, it didn't feel like it would be helpful for somebody who's just been newly diagnosed. Like, it didn't help at all. And then it got to the part where I just started to feel like it wasn't helping me like manage it at all. Like I just I keep saying I started to kind of go back to like some of my old habits, some of my old coping methods, and I relayed that to the psychologist. Like I said, you know, I'm struggling a bit, and like I just got told go back to the PowerPoints. From week 1, and I was just like, oh, okay. And then like there was a lot of like emphasis on mindfulness and stuff, and I have nothing against mindfulness. It just doesn't work for me, and it upsets me and annoys me a bit that it's constantly recommended as like the first method, and then if you don't get it and if you don't really use it or like work with it, then you're not really given an alternative. And then it just got to a point where I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna fake it. So I'll just be like, yeah, it helps sometimes. I mean, like, I really do try it, because like on my Instagram and stuff, I try to post like positive images and stuff to help with that, with the recovery, you know, just to give myself reminders that it's a work in progress. So things like that do, like, it's not that they don't work, and it's not that they do work. It's just kind of there, like, just, it works in the moment. It works in the moment. It's not a long-term solution. And what I need is something to help me long-term. And I just wasn't really offered that. And then, like, yeah. And then, like, when the sessions were ending, I once again, you know, mentioned that I was struggling again, like, you know, binging and stuff. Like, it was back, and it was a lot. I was struggling a lot with it. And it was just like, okay, go back to the PowerPoint, look at what we said in week 1. Some of the comments, like when the sessions were ending, you know, when you do the reflecting and whatnot, it was like, oh, because I don't want to give up how do I say it? Because I don't want to stop thinking and working on losing weight, and then that's why I'm struggling with the whole therapy. And I was like, well, yeah, that's how I got into this mess in the my camera cut out, sorry guys. So I can't remember what I was saying. I will find out when I'm editing this video. But yeah, so I was talking about, what was I talking about? I was talking about weight gain, and that's how I ended up getting into this mess, this problem. So so the therapist, the psychologist, was like, she's getting the feeling, like, that from what I've been saying, that because I can't stop focusing on weight loss, that I'm not going to be able to give up on the bulimia. And so, and that was just it. That's what she said. And I was discharged, like, because the sessions had finished. That was it. And I was just like, oh, I was so shocked, like, they discharged me, like, just because, like that, like, there was nothing. It was like, yeah, you've had your 16 sessions, that's it, literally, just like, I'm thrown back into the world with a diagnosis that I have no idea how to manage. I don't know what I'm going to do, and I've just been left to it. Like, the only way I can go back is if my GP makes another referral, and I go back to the beginning all over again. Like, I have to go back to square one in order to try and get help. And it's really frustrating, because the reason why I feel like the reason why they're not so bothered is because I'm overweight, and I feel like with eating disorders, in order to get any form of support or help, you have to be underweight. Like, you have to be a certain weight. You have to get dangerously low. Like, you have to be in danger for them to bat an eyelid and to help. And that's really frustrating, because it's like, I kept mentioning how I was struggling, how, you know, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to have an eating disorder. I don't want to be binging and purging. I don't want to be doing any of those things. But it's something that I'm struggling to let go of. And rather than finding another way to help me, it was just like, well, you've done now. You're finished. You've had your sessions. Go back to your GP. And it's like, okay. Like, I had a few sessions face to face, then I had the rest by Zoom or Microsoft Teams, whatever. And I was given a bunch of PowerPoints, like 16, 17 PowerPoints, and that's it. Somebody who's literally just been diagnosed this year, and they were like, that's fine. And so for me, that whole experience, as somebody who's never really been in the ED services and the eating disorder services, it's not been the best. It's not been the best. I haven't felt supported. I haven't felt good. Like, it's just, I don't know. In honesty, I feel really let down by the whole service and my experience there. But yeah, my first experience and first time trying to get therapy in ED has not been great. So now I am literally back to square one, zero. And I have to try and get an appointment with my GP. I have to get my GP to try and do another referral. And it's annoying because this eating disorder, having bulimia, is something that I just couldn't give up. Like, it's not something just 16 sessions was going to be enough. And it's really annoying because it's something I've struggled with for years and years, since like I've been a teenager. It is basically the only coping method I know. I also feel like they weren't touched on like at all, like how I've ended up with an eating disorder, like what were the triggers, how did I get to this stage, like how to help with that. So yeah, my experiences in the eating disorder service has not been amazing. I wasn't expecting it to be amazing, but I wasn't expecting it to be so, yeah. I wasn't expecting it to be like that, but it was. And I don't really know what I'm supposed to do now. Like, I'm just left on my own to try and cope, to try not let it get any worse, you know. So yeah, hopefully if you are entering the services, you're able to actually get support. You can recover. Like, having an eating disorder is an illness, and like a lot of illnesses you can recover, so don't give up. Look after yourselves. Bye.